matches.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Simonis Aramuth Arena and the 2019 International 9-Ball Open. Thank you very much. The Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel is our host venue once again, and Diamond Billiard Products is the official table of the 2019 International 9-Ball Open. This is the third day of our 6-day event. This is the final match of the afternoon session. It's winner side action, so let's get right underway and introduce our two competitors. Our first player making his second appearance in the USA comes to us from Vietnam. He's sponsored by MIT Cues. Would you please welcome Duong Quoc Hoang. His opponent's from Scotland. Certainly no stranger to center court here and elsewhere around the world. He's the 2017 U.S. Open 9-Ball champion. Sponsored by Perry Cues, let's call him Eagle Eye. It's Jayson Shaw. Okay, let's go ahead and lag for the break. This time, I'm going to send it upstairs to the commentary booth. By the way, your timekeeper is John Baker. I'm going to toss it up to the booth to Mark Wilson and to Double J, Jeremy Jones. Go ahead.
Glad to have everyone here. This is Mark Wilson and Jeremy Jones coming to you with more world-class 9-ball. Thank you for joining us, Double J, and I consider you to be the best analyst in the game today. Eagle Eye has won the lag and will be breaking.
And you'll see one of the few that'll break with an open hand bridge.
Yeah, super power stroke.
Yeah, and he's doing that because of, you can see most of the guys using the cut break of some sort. If you see him break 10-ball or you know, head on 9-ball, he'll go to the closed bridge, but not all the power required in the cut break. But a nice opener here on the one.
Very smooth. I was watching him warm up on day one, and he made a couple very, very impressive outs, so I know he's in good form.
Yeah, just coming off a win this past week, just an hour away in North Carolina. And for these guys, like we talked about, I think the last match I did with you was filler over Dudadets. And, you know, Jason's definitely one of the upper echelon players in the world. And, you know, if anything, they're always looking for is a little confidence, and a win can certainly do that probably more than anything. Sometimes a lot of practice with really good results practicing can really boost the confidence just as much as a win, but really nothing replaces it. Okay, hit the one well, but come across and hit the 6, so now immediately faced with a tough shot on the 2 because he's probably going to have to elevate the cue, Mark.
And tough shot by normal human being standards, not so much so for Jayson Shaw with his super firepower. Smoothed it home.
And that's probably why he's so efficient, because of the speed of the cue he has to swing it seems like much less than most people.
He's always been a great shot maker, but in recent years, he's now 31 years old. The rest of his game has come around, and he's formidable. It's not just shot making and breaking with this guy anymore.
Okay, a pretty smart shot there with the entire left side of the table open, coming off our left side, his right, where he can run the cue ball pretty easily with no worries. And that's really when I see these best players, you know, win matches handily and win tournaments, is when they rely on their talent when it calls for it. Like right there, don't worry about getting so close to the 4. It's a pretty easy shot for a guy like Jayson. It builds confidence too when you play like that, I think.
Conservative position routes.
Yeah, at times, you know. And kind of just what the doctor ordered here to start this match. Break and run.
I truly don't believe there's anyone that has more offensive firepower in the game today than Jayson Shaw. As he opens here with a break and run out to start the match. 1-0 is our score.
Well, this is the winner's side, but we have a combination of some winners and loser side matches here at 2:30. A lot of great ones on both sides.
Yeah, I don't even call them losers side. I call them once beaten side because
Yeah.
these are great champions, top to bottom. About the densest field I've ever seen.
Got a couple of the 12:30 rounds still going on, and of course, if they're still going on, they're close, coming down towards the end.
Yeah, I see Kevin Chang locked in the battle with Darren Appleton over there. It looks like the score is about, yeah, it is tied 8-8. Appleton's kind of showing some resurgent form here.
Yeah, played really well in his first 2-round wins.
Playing the 1 ball in the side pocket here. 9 balls racked right on the spot.
Okay, so a long one here on the 1, and I don't think he can get on the 2, Mark. So decisions here in rack number 2. And the 1's not easy enough to just roll forward and play some type of safety on the 2. You know, if you have a kind of a hanger on the 1, you go ahead and make it and get below the 2 and play some type of safety. But with the 1 being so difficult, and man, the 7's really got him kind of impeded on trying to run the cue ball safe off a piece of the 1.
Right.
So you're going to see a rollout situation when he's got an open look at the 1. So
That's pretty rare, where you push out when you can look straight at the 1.
yeah, so I don't think he's going to fool anybody here. I don't think.
Just hoping to get back to the table with a little bit better distribution of the balls to work from.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he can bank the 1 long rail and get a couple rails behind the 2 and all that. I think the 7's just kind of in the way. I don't think he's going to kiss the cue ball with the 1, but he may kiss the cue ball with the 7 and slow it down. I'll tell you one thing he could do, though. Just come straight across it in between the 8-7 and float behind the 8 and the 4. Just bank it up mildly, no inside at all. Okay.
He tried to score it.
Yeah, and he just felt like he was going to make that and play from there.
So he's trying to make a tough shot to get to a position he could play safe from. That's how awkward that circumstance was.
Yeah, and the odd thing to me was he kind of had that shot to start with, I thought. So I wonder if, if Hoang wants to get down and make that 1 and play from that position, how Jayson would have felt, seeing as how he could have tried to make the 1 from the opening break. Okay, he didn't want to take any chances, and I don't blame him.
Duong Quoc Hoang from Vietnam.
I'll tell you, he could do a lot right here just to play the 2 back underneath the 4-8 and let the cue ball run up. The 4-8's 2 big balls to where it's going to be hard to get at the 2 without going to the back rail or something. Yeah, a little more speed, of course, but that way the cue ball gets up a little bit more as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a little funny getting to that back rail. I think Jayson's got a piece of this, though. Just got to use your skill here, right? And float back in between the 4 and the 8. Right behind between the 4-6, behind the 4 and 8, maybe?
A super tough shot either way, but he's got more of it than you would think that Hoang would like to have left him to work with.
I don't think he's going to kick at this. Maybe, but I thought he could feather the 2 and just kind of try to float the cue ball back somewhat where it's at right now. Okay, that's how rough it was sitting. Well, the 8's going to get in front of the 2, so not bad.
We'll get a second look at the tactical side of Duong Quoc Hoang's game right here. He's going to need to be more productive than he was with his first safety attempt to hold off the likes of Jayson Shaw. He might just way overcut the 2 and try to let the cue ball go down by the brown 7 and just leave the 2 ball out in the middle of the table here, approximately where it's at now, or come on across and try to introduce the 5 ball as a blocker. And now he's looking at possibly banking the 2 straight back between the 4 and 7 ball to the back rail.
Going back and forth with the cue ball, maybe?
Yeah.
On the 8. Oh, he wouldn't try to go down low.
Oh.
I don't think he was playing that. Maybe, though.
Oh,
He's kind of shocked it was bankable. Oh, it hung. Excuse me.
That's the first time this week a ball at that speed there grazed the rail on the way into the pocket that it didn't drop. So we know the tables are starting to get a little more played in. The 4 3/8 inch pocket makes it hang deeper into the pocket and very unpredictable to play position from this ball because it's so deep, as you well know.
And the weather's changed a little bit outside, a little bit more humidity today. Okay, he's just got to kind of pull this out and take the shot on the 3, I think.
Well, does he hit the point on the pocket, simultaneously? Is that the idea?
Well, this is that. He let her rip. Okay, this may work out, though. Well, got a little funny, Mark. I thought maybe he was going to get a kiss shot on the 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can see there he has a powerful stroke, even though the shot didn't work out. But he had that baby humming coming out of that pocket. He's a pretty relaxed guy, and since he now has a family, much more stable, settled, surrounded out his game.
Yeah, he may have to go for the bank here. He's trying to catch it a little bit more full, and that way going into the 4. But okay, so nothing like ball in hand to get you started.
I must say that very few players possess the firepower of Jayson Shaw, but a top player does not make that particular scratch. They usually take that scratch out of it.
Yeah.
So Jayson makes up for those little idiosyncrasies with his overwhelming firepower, but once he adds that dimension to his game where he doesn't give up ball in hand from here, anything but ball in hand, at least make the guy play.
Pretty nice stroke, though. Very fluid.
Yeah, one of those very smooth cueing actions. Does not use brute force to power the balls around, but just fluidity. For those of you that can't see, Jeremy Jones here, clearly a Hoang fan, wearing a big H on his hat here in the booth.
Yeah.
Hoang and the Houston Astros, right?
That's right.
That's going to be exciting today. Oh,
I think it's going to be crazy, yeah.
Bet you're looking forward to it.
I sure am. I think it's going to be. I told a couple of friends of mine actually before the playoffs started that would, but I said if I was a betting guy, I would look up what Greinke was to win the World Series MVP. And now he pitched 4 2/3, I think, and only gave up 1 run in the first start. And now he's got a chance to do something special in Game 7. So we'll see. Scherzer's a scary guy, though.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. 1-1's our score. Long breaking.
And I watched him practice before the match, and he had several different breaks. This is the problem I saw many times, is a non-compliant break from him. And that's why I saw several different breaks, probably because he was struggling being compliant. So it's always a little deflating because he didn't hit him bad or anything. Played the one on the side. It got a lot of movement on the balls, it seemed like. They just didn't get up table.
Right.
Touchy little shot that he's got to kind of roll in and probably end up having to take a longer shot on the 4 here in a couple innings, or a couple shots. Not so sure he can get a great angle on the 3.
Yeah, it looks like it's hard to even just make the 2 with anything but rolling it in.
Yeah. Okay, and he really threatened it, I think, and got really nice.
Yeah, that was a superior shot.
And still the 5-6 is tricky. 5, does it pass the 9? That would always help, but it doesn't appear so. Anytime you got those short side pockets, really helps because you can float down and maybe get the side or the corner. Okay, what do you think, Mark? Come straight down the table in between the 5 and 9 for maybe the 5 and the side where he's looking?
I think that's the safest route. You just can't get hooked. You can always defend yourself even if you fall short or if you get an awkward angle. You go on the inside of it, it can be treacherous, and particularly if it doesn't go past the 9. So this would be the preferred side.
And it was so natural, too.
Yeah.
To where they just use a little of their talent with the speed control, and cue ball kind of wants to go on that path automatically. And those are the choices that I like to see from players. Just if it takes you there anyways, if you can work out a way to play position like that, things become pretty easy. Probably come across for the corner. Yeah. I like that too. I'm a corner kind of guy as far as when you have a choice.
Very routine 9-ball to take a 1-game lead here now. Jayson Shaw has 2. Hoang has 1. Jason's moved beyond just, a guy that has that supreme firepower like I described earlier, but he now has experience to go with some of the other tools, and it's much like a carpenter that builds a house. Maybe he's good at framing, but doesn't have the set of skills for finishing the house. And that's where Jason's game's at. He now has many of those tools: the safety, the kicking, the strategy. With the exception of that one scratch there, he still has a little bit of ways to go. But for the most part,
yeah, he's got most of it down.
And a lot tougher guy. He used to be. You play 2 safeties on him, he's just going to go. And just if you win that game, then so be it. I'll just win the rest of them. But not anymore. No, he fights for every game now.
Yeah, he can beat you a lot of different ways, and sign of a champion for sure. And that's just the experience part of the game. You learn from all the great players before you usually.
Once you watch him just a little bit, it's very compelling to watch because you're always going to see some kind of dynamic offensive display during the match.
Okay, is he going to get the 3 passed or the 5 passed? Not sure.
Nope, didn't get there.
It's a non-compliant break.
And he's put the 1 in that position now a couple times, so I'm not so sure if he's trying to do that and relying on something else going in, or if he's just missing the 1 in the side, kind of overhitting him maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's surprising. He decided to come back all the way for that. He could have just come out in between the 3 and 7, had the 2 down in the lower left corner.
Kind of one-stroked it too, meaning he only had one practice swing and just let it rip. Like he wasn't really committed to the shot, just kind of hoping for the shot.
Yeah, and he's kind of put Jayson in a funny spot kicking at this ball. The 2's in the way of the natural, and the 5, you can get around the 5 a couple rails, but you got to bend it a little bit, probably with some draw, maybe a hair of speed as well.
Good call.
So a little difficult situation. Looking at the monitor, it looks like the 2-railer by the 2 ball's very doable, but looking at the screen, it looks like the same. Looking at the table, excuse me, it looks like he's got to bend it with draw as well. So,
Well, no doubt Jason's glad to have any chance to kick from where the balls were lined up to begin with. So
watch out for the 9 ball here.
and just like Jeremy said, he bent it a little bit with backspin.
Yeah.
Not the ideal result he wanted. However, he did not give a ball in hand, which certainly helps.
And Hoang would like to go into a piece of this 9 ball here, believe it or not. Going to it full could cause problems. Okay. Ooh, that's touchy. He caught it even more thin than I thought he would. I thought he'd catch about half the ball, come out towards the spot with the cue ball.
Quickly grabs his jump cue. Pretty severe angle. The key to this, good follow through. Oh, hit the heart of the pocket. Nice.
He might need it again.
Yeah, he didn't go and put it away right away, waiting to see what happened here.
What's the most you've seen in a row with a jump cue?
2
I've
for
seen
sure.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like we'll give you a chance to prove that you can really jump it good. Give you another chance at it. Seemed very adept on the first one. Well, that concludes that. Now we know he's really good with the jump cue. And both balls went right where he aimed them, didn't rattle on the way in or anything, just drained cleanly.
He's got a medium difficult shot here on the 4, just because a little too much angle to hold it, and a little too much, not quite enough angle to easily move it over. But the key is realize you don't want to get back over straight on the 5 anyways. You just want to come out. Oh, that's why'd he go forward, I wonder. Because he could have drawn out one rail somewhere around the center, and that's kind of where you want to get on the 5 anyways to get back for the 6. So when you look at those shots that you don't feel like have enough angle to move it over, kind of recognize where you really want to go, and it a lot of times makes the shot easier because it's not as much cue ball movement as your first look is.
Yeah.
Well, after a couple of great jump shots, big miss there, even though it's the 4th game, only the 4th game. So I don't expect Jayson to continually struggle with the break at all, as far as complying and making balls.
Jason's kind of like a real good Major League Baseball pitcher. You really need to get to him in the first inning because once he gets his momentum up and everything, you know what kind of rhythm he plays and gets a little confidence.
You had said it before, Mark, that a guy that would gamble a little bit sometimes strategically playing, knowing that he was going to do a little something to you at some time during the match, meaning run some racks. And he's still looking to do that in, these matches as well. He just knows he can grind out some safety battle games a little more often than he used to.
Yeah. Well, it used to be he wouldn't exert himself because he's so used to smothering you with his offense that you can just, the scrappy games, you can have him. He didn't care about that. He's going to run a bunch of racks on you, see if you can match that. It's kind of like a boxer, like a puncher type of guy that just wants to get to the center of the ring, and we'll just trade blows and let's see what happens here.
Yeah, he kind of feels like he's going to make the punishment for a mistake of yours or an unlucky roll or something like that much more penal than you will to him.
Right.
And I tell you, it's good to see Econopolis back playing. Saw him in Russia at the Kremlin Cup. Hadn't seen him play in a long time. Of course, I don't get out to Europe all the time or anything, but I know he wasn't playing a lot, but now 2 big events in a row. Plus, I think he played in the last Euro Tour. True talent.
Yeah, he played a great set here the other night.
Well, Darren Appleton and Kevin Chang at 9 apiece now with Darren at the table. It's another winner's side match in the 3rd round.
Shaw breaking.
All right, missed
3
the 1
hung.
again.
8 dropped. He's compliant.
And he's almost got a shot.
A distasteful shot just because he's in an awkward place where the 2 ball's right next to the cue ball, but the 1 is extreme on the other end of the table.
Man, if he wasn't quite elevated, the rail first is not horrible. It's not easy, but it's not horrible. But,
He's acting like he can see enough of the 1 to shoot straight at it.
well, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it looks... I would go rail first just so I wouldn't embarrass myself shooting straight at it.
The 3 hanging.
Yeah.
There's not really a scramble shot like trying to kiss the 5 into the 3, not being that elevated and that far away, but he must feel like he's going to be able to power this ball and get some type of cut shot on the 2.
I think he was trying to play your shot where he was trying to billiard the 5 over at the 3.
Well, this has gotten tricky. I'm looking right down the barrel, and I think if he uses the rail, he can make the 1. It's not easy, though, because he's dead straight. It's just a few inches off the rail.
Unforgiving shot here, too. I wouldn't blame him if he just rolls the safety down here. Ooh, he did not do...
It's my least favorite safety, that one. You got to roll and just edge up on a ball, but you need to cut it a hair, though. It's a difficult little shot, believe it or not.
Then the worst part of it is you come out looking like a complete rank amateur. No, I'm just saying when you leave this for Jayson Shaw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything but that. Just go ahead and blast him would be better.
And these are the types. He needs to come all the way down to the end rail, most likely here. Doesn't have to, but I would like to. He's caught the 7, I believe. That kind of stuff will upset Jason a little.
Well, he's known to play a little bump and run and just scramble around the table and just rely on shot making. So.
Now he's left-handed and mighty stretch here.
Yeah.
Probably cut it in, though. Could bank the 4 back down. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll cut it. Now, anytime the 9's near the spot like that coming down the table, both sides can offer a scratch, so got to be a little careful. How's that?
Almost overcut it. He hit it so good.
Thing.
Look at where it landed. You couldn't say I'm going to play this position route, but boy, you couldn't have put it there with ball in hand hardly any better.
Okay, wants to keep a little angle on the 6. Got quite a bit, actually. Should draw over, though. And this is another one of those shots that where he doesn't have to quite put as much speed as a lot of people, so he can do a number of things with the shot.
Yeah, allows him to keep a more compact swing for accuracy, but he gets plenty of power with it. I don't know if it's just his physical strength or just his ability.
I think it's just the timing of it. The timing's really, really good.
Routine 9 ball here for Jayson Shaw, his 4th win. 4-1 is our score. We're right at that point in the match where it's quite pivotal that Hoang mounts some type of a attack here, because it can easily slip away. If Jayson gets on a little bit of a roll and clips off another 3 or 4 games and is playing well, then the match is out of control and it's likely going to be an absolute blowout.
Well, that's what you were talking about as far as getting to him early, at least a bit, you know. And not only to get yourself some time at the table, because you're going to have to, you know, most likely finish the last 80-90% of the match pretty flawless to beat Jayson.
Yeah, he's a pretty dynamic closer horse there once he gets towards the end.
Rack 6, Jayson breaking, 4-1.
Okay, I think he's playing the 1 high on this table, where on other tables he may not. But I think he feels like this table playing for the 1 around. It just seems like too consistent almost to me for him not to be playing it. Now here comes the jump cue, I would think.
I always get a kick out of chatting with Jayson. He's kind of a serious guy, but he's got a little humor about him. But then with that Scottish accent, you know, and it's got a little elongated consonant on the end of every word.
Okay, I don't think he's probably taking his extension.
Yeah, he might as well. Well, somebody had a cell phone out or something.
Well, the flash was on.
Eli, big jump shot here.
Okay, could make it off the 2 or make it straight in.
He hit it pretty darn good.
I think he's going to get away with it. Yes, he is. I believe so. I think the 8's got him snookered here. So probably a soft kick on the 1 to the bottom cushion here.
You know, if he can't see the 1, this is not a fun shot to have to play.
No, and you can't really be aggressive here, even though you know you're probably going to get snookered on the following shot by Jayson.
Provided that you do a good job to begin with.
Sure, yeah, but I think you still have to just bump the 1 up against the 7 there on the rail and try and lengthen the game. Could play firm, I guess, trying to bank it away, but there's not really much room there between banking it to the side rail and getting it past the 9 and all that. So options pretty limited. Does he have to spin it a lot?
Yeah, that 8
He
ball.
does. It's out there, huh?
He's almost has to mass A into it, then soft, and have that spin catch. And I really wouldn't blame him if he does opt to go with power.
3 rails.
No, just anything. Just to throw it up in the air. It's you're likely going to lose going soft.
Well, I like, if he's going this way, I like firm. I don't want to kick soft a few
no,
rails
right.
here.
So I'm saying just
Wow,
go for
he
it.
went straight at it. And how great did he hit it? Whether he gets
Tremendous.
a reward or not, that was a great shot.
Yeah, he deserves a break after that effort. And that was good decision making, too, because he was likely not to get the best of a soft kick either way you went. At least now he forces Jayson to make a tough shot here. Jason's looking at the carom on the 6. Guess he can bank the 1 and carom the 6.
Okay, left it pretty tough. Most likely bank the 1 around and draw behind the 7 and the 8, I think.
I think he might think about just playing the 9 here. Just let the 1 go over by the 7 or the 8. No, too risky.
Well, I think you can get the 1 there, but you don't want to leave him a look at the 1. So even if he's falling behind the 7-8 here, that's fine too. Got to play pretty secure there when you have the chance.
Good job there.
And I think if the 9 was a little better, he would have entertained maybe trying to make the 9 in that last shot. He's got a decent kick here, though. He can see right at it, meaning getting to the side rail pretty head on. If he can hit it with a top English, he's going to try and knock the 1 by the 6 to the back rail and the cue ball over behind the 7-8. Caught it just a little heavy, but making things still difficult. Oh, good roll there. Hoang and a probably pretty well needed time.
Yeah. Although I'm sure that was part of the understanding is that the 8 could go in.
Fell a little short here, though. And this is tricky because he needs an angle on the 5 to get to the 7, you know, properly. But he doesn't want too much angle if he has to cut it down the rail. It's going to be a little short. Yeah, a little short, so ball pocketing becomes a premium here. Not only that, he has to maybe hit it at a lighter speed to hold the cue ball.
And now these rails are getting a little bit touchier, so if you graze the rail at soft speed, it tends to bound away. He went pace.
That's a smart play.
And good shot.
Letting the stroke out.
3 rail position, side rail, side rail, side rail.
So we'll get to see our second break attempt here by Hoang here in a minute.
He wins the second game, trails in the match 2-4, and this was all set up by that great kick, that power kick early in the rack. Bought himself another opportunity, forced Jayson to play a distasteful shot. Earlier, I thought it was Skyler and Eberly playing over here. Did you happen to catch any of that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Max won. Max beat Skyler.
Pretty big win for Max.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Hoang now set the break. And it will be compliant, except that the 6 ball got kissed back up by the cue ball, so I think it's a non-compliant, although it was a dry break anyway, wasn't it? 3,
Yes, it was.
6, so.
Well, I'd sure like to play a 2-way here, but I'm just not so sure it's sitting there. Pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, good speed.
Yeah, he had to hit it with a funny kind of kill stroke on the cue ball because he was trying to make it, so he didn't want to pin himself behind the 5 or any further down the table. So even though a miss, pretty good control. that one, it's amazing. If it got froze to that top rail, it's a very difficult kick shot to make. But if it got a little bit off, it's amazing how much more makeable just that little bit off the rail makes the shot. Oh, he spun a lot. Wow, what a shot.
Good job there.
Yeah, and he put a lot of side spin on that kick shot. Pretty impressive, because normally you just kind of go a little more natural on that type of shot. And he was very confident with the control of the kick shot.
He's got a pretty decent layout here to work with. Tell you something I really like is Jason's posture in the chair. He's very erect and with it into the match. Sometimes you see some of the players get a little dejected or slump or a little disconnected to the match.
Well, you know, you'd rather be shooting, and watching your opponent run out on you isn't the most fun thing in the world sometimes to do, but I think paying attention, you get more out of it than just sitting there not paying attention. So gather the speed of the cue ball, and, you know.
It sort of sends a message to your opponent that you're a little disconnected too. I think, you know, just the idea that you're here to play.
And I want to see if my opponent, you know, knowing these guys real well, if they flinch a little bit here and there. It may not ever come up, but if it does happen to present itself in a decision I have to make on what type of shot I want to leave them, I want to have as much information behind it as possible. Oh, my. Yeah, that was the kind of newer felt. He tried to create that angle a little bit more, trying to get a little more bounce off the cue ball.
Yeah, a little inexperience there. You really have to take that side pocket out of play. Because
with the 6 and 7 both so accessible. You know, when the ball's getting difficult positions, that's when a little more risk is taken at times with the cue ball. But when they're so easy, that's when, you know, stay off the rail. It's pretty simple little things like that.
Right. Just a hint of inexperience here. The eagle has spotted the mouse and has pounced now, as he will move out in front 5-2. I guess we've all made that mistake, and then as you grow and get toughened up, then you learn, hey, no matter what we do, even if I have to play safe on the next one, don't scratch. Now the problem is this: it can compound itself. If Jayson comes back and breaks and runs out after this player timeout, now for that unforced error, it can easily morph into 2 or 3 games, and then you're still kicking for your life when you come back. All right, Jayson Shaw is back now. Hoang is in his chair. Ken Schumann on. Yep, thumbs up. We're off. Welcome back, everybody. 5-2 is our score. Jayson Shaw leading and breaking.
So Jayson, I think, started to break the balls better. He got snookered the last couple. I had to jump at the ball. Okay, caught the one on the point there. Complying break, and he's going to get a pretty good starter on the 1. Some work with the rack, getting from the 4 to the 5 mainly.
You think he may inside spin and try to drive the 4-ball down table and maybe help slow down the cue ball?
Not the worst thing in the world. If he felt like he could hit rail first, I'd hate to go into it ball first, just because you might settle right there on the rail and things could get a little funny from the 2 to the 3. But if he can catch the rail first, I wouldn't mind bumping it a little bit. That way the cue ball's off the rail. Oh, he just came straight down.
Yeah, if you have that, forget it.
Yeah.
I didn't think he could get it that well. So there must have been a little bit further off the cushion.
Off the cushion, yeah. The main thing is here with the 6 and the 9 and the 8 the way they are, he really needs to fall pretty straight on the 4, whether he plays the 4 up long like he's looking now or play for the draw shot. Can't really afford an angle unless he wants to go with top inside English 3 rails once the 3 is gone. Could have used a little more angle there, Mark. So now you're going to have to see a little bit of that power you were talking about, most likely. I don't think he'll play for the bank.
It's going top. He's going to go forward, much like he set up to begin with when he went over and cued.
What a great touch that was.
Oh,
There's
boy.
that straight in I was talking about.
Wow. Okay.
And he needs to get on down there now. So he may end up kind of on top of the 5 a little bit, or he may play thinner on the 5 to go up and down.
You might go short side. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Short side position? Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not going to quite get there either. He's going to definitely be disappointed with that effort.
That was surprising. I thought he could cheat the pocket a little or cheat the angle a little bit and follow down just below the side and cut the 5 and go up and down.
Yeah, it wasn't laying like
yeah.
that. I was looking down the line, and I could see it looked like it needed to go short side.
It did have to go short, huh? Okay, so funny little shot here. I'd like to nip it and run the cue ball 2 rails and lay it on the side rail. Don't go all the way to the end rail here with the cue ball, I don't think. I think just lay it kind of where he's standing at right now. That's
I don't
gotta
think
go.
it's good. No, it's not enough speed.
Yeah.
Hoang looking at the corner pocket as if he can nip it in, so it's a makeable shot. That cue ball's going to come off the rails here pretty fast.
He's going to cut this in, though, I think, right?
Yep. Oh, he was able to check it up. I thought it was going to the other long rail and coming around the table. This is a perfect shot. If it doesn't get perfectly straight, which it did. So now he's got to roll.
Yeah, it's close. He's got to roll this forward and just go forward. This could become tricky. I think he can go the rail. Okay.
He was able to utilize the size of the pocket to manipulate the angle. Good win there for Hoang. 3rd win now. Trails in the match 3-6.
So it's just been a couple funny positions Jason's fell into, and then that scratch earlier, and then just not quite hitting the cue ball with enough speed there to get what was probably a pretty routine safety for him. That's,
yeah.
These guys, this speed here, you're supposed to get the snooker there, I think. Now Hoang, this will be his 3rd break, and he didn't make a ball in the break last time. Made a ball in the break in the 1st, but it was a non-complying break.
I think really the difference in the match is that Jayson dunked the cue ball into the corner pocket on a safety. Here he fell short speed-wise on a safety, and then a couple times did not get a shot from a okay break.
Mm-hmm.
So he's never really been able to assert himself in the match like he likes to be. And Hoang is he's hanging on. Definitely needs to get something going from the break, though. He does not want to have to gunfight with Jayson Shaw every rack.
Okay, a dry one there and non-complying.
Yeah, that's not what the doctor ordered.
No, and what a nice starter. And really just getting from the 2 to the 3 to the 4 kind of clears the rack a little bit with the 5 and 6 being so near the 4. So the 1 to the 2, pretty easy, of course. 2 to the 3, he's got to make a little decision going downward with the cue ball. Oh, he doesn't want to run into the 6 here after shooting the 2. So can he go forward easy, just an inch, and be okay? Just like stun it just an inch or so, or stun it into the 6 a little bit?
Looks like he can almost stop it there.
Yeah, think he's got to go into the 6 a hair. Yeah.
Good call. But the conservative position route, and that's what Jayson, good position for him is generally just on the same table. He doesn't have to have perfect anything.
Yeah, this is what happens, though, when you have to elevate. And, you've had a few of them that have gotten away from you already. So, and, as far as that, he knows as well as you do and I do, Mark, that it's a long-term thing, that good position is. I mean, a lot of these guys can shoot their way out of a lot of times from being out of line the entire day, the entire tournament. But it's a long-term development kind of thing to where, you make 5 less mistakes every 100 shots or whatever it is because of the better position play.
Couldn't have summed it up any better, Jeremy. This is a game of consistency. So while you have all that firepower, you want to refrain from using it and exposing yourself to the risk that comes with it. Jayson made a nice center ball, drive the cue ball back up table shot there, and now he's right back in line.
Okay, good touch there, and knowing that the 8's available to the side. So rather than overhit and be going into the 9 with the cue ball after shooting the 7, he can afford this little cut shot going back and forth. And that's the thing that, Hoang he's made one mistake, when he scratched on that ball coming back across the side. But if Jayson or any of these guys don't feel any heat of you putting racks together because of the break, it's not only, it's just I don't know, just makes things easy on them, I guess you might say.
I think it's even empowering with their confidence, too. They say, well, this guy can't really hurt me either, so I can go ahead and fire away.
Speaking of a guy doing some damage, Chris Robinson now on the 9 ball to go up 8-2 over Chris Melling. And Robinson, I know he's playing well, and from his results in his first 2 matches, definitely playing well. And now up 6 games, 8-2 over Melling.
A lot of respect from me for him because he works hard, very compact swing, and he's got a pretty good mentality for pool. So when you have a compact swing, that constitutes consistency, and then you got the work ethic to go with it. It's just a matter of now he just needs seasoning and experience at this level.
Yeah, I like Chris a lot. Definitely going to be a champion. Okay, see how that one's tracking? That's a nice. Oh, look at this 2-all.
Yeah,
these are going to be difficult to move here. And for me, I think I know it's. I'd rather just cut the rack myself. I think I know the sponsors. I don't think they would mind. They would understand in certain situations, like right here with this 2 and 9, the way they are, and they're together, and every little thing makes a difference. It's hard to place that, what's it called, the marker to where you can pick the ball up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just cut the rack right
you mean
here.
literally take a scissor? Okay,
Snip the rack, and then you just open it, and nothing ever gets touched.
Right. This happened the other night, and it was Bergman. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, it was Bergman, and the. Okay.
I see it. Yeah, it's a different one than the outer tables use, I think.
The 1 and the 9 were on the rack, but it was a combination, and Ken was going to move it, and Bergman requested that he not just leave it there because he knows he's going to hit it with a little bit of power, and he was so afraid that the combination would get, just because it was already a hint awkward, if it gets any worse at all.
Won't be able to shoot it, yeah.
Just leave it there, I'll shoot it, and he shot it and made it. So that was the choice that he made. Yeah, I see what you're saying, and then we're informed now that the Ken Schumann has a little bit different ball markers that does not affect that. So it's interesting. This will be a pretty shot. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's playing conservative. Okay.
I think they said the 2 passed the 9. I thought he said that whenever.
Okay. It's hard to tell from here, but
I know, right?
he had something in mind because he eased that ball in there, and he was going for this particular location. He hit the heart of the pocket. His speed's good when he hits the heart of the pocket, so this is where he wanted to be.
Yeah, I think he said before Schumann started working on moving the balls that the 2 does go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got a...
Kind of an unfortunate bump there.
Yeah, and I think he can kick behind the 7 with draw. Otherwise, it'll be to this bottom cushion here with a little bit of spin. Not a lot.
Just chip it over by the 7.
Put it past it, right?
Oh, what a nice
great
shot. World-class pool. What a great replay to have there. That is so delicate and so skillful.
Yeah, and pretty nervy, too, because
Yeah.
a lot of times you can do that, and if the 4 runs into the 7 just the right way, you don't get a cushion. You give a ball in hand on those soft kicks sometimes. So
The reason to play them, though, is that a lot of times you're going to give up something anyway. So maybe this is the best of the bad situation that's got a negative expectation to begin with. And then it's, devastating to your opponent psychologically when you execute a shot like that, too. That everything's going your way.
okay, he's got to watch the shot clock here. And he's calling extension.
Yeah, he has the extension left. Almost looks like he might need to check this up with a little bit of inside so he can get a little wider attack approach to the 4.
He's got a medium speed. He could do a lot of good things on both sides of the 4 here. Oh, he went right in between it.
Foul. Illegal contact. Ball in hand.
Okay, so Jayson winning all games all kinds of ways this match.
Eagle eye now. Just a routine 9-ball for his 7th win. 7-3 is our score. Boy, we got some great fans out there. Jeremy, Alan Oliver's watching. April Larson's watching. Robbie, Patrick, and JP Portwood. Shout out to Rhett Butler. Ben Young up in Des Moines checking in. Pretty cool how many people.
Oh, yeah.
Terry Wisely, thank you. Gotta love it. We made this pool appreciation week and asked people to have viewing parties on Facebook and such, and we do. And even today, a man in Athens, Georgia, bought a 55-inch pool or a TV for his pool room, commercial pool room, and what a cool guy this guy is. His name is Ed Gertschner. He's the last man to leave Vietnam. He was a U.S. Marine major and saved thousands of lives and still laments the lives he couldn't save, and that's a real hero.
Oh, yeah.
I'm proud and happy to have him as part of our pool family. What a cool guy. Vintage billiards. Look at this push out to a jump.
Yeah, he rolled it out pretty close as well because you're going to want power.
Well, how can you accept this shot? Because you really don't get a shot from it. Well, maybe, I guess, if you thin back cut it.
Yeah, I think the 2 may be cuttable, very cuttable.
And you hate to give it back because the other guy is forced to play it, so he plays it without any ambiguity. So then you feel dumb if he makes it, but it's a super hard shot for you to take on. You were hoping for something better.
Yeah. Well, but certain players though, like I know Federer, if he's given this, he's probably taking it because he makes it such a high percentage without knowing, Mr.
Right.
Wong.
See if that bridge hand moves as the delivery. No,
Yeah, it looked like he hit the left side of the cue ball a little
It
bit.
did.
Maybe
The cue ball's-
maybe intentionally, but it was a 3 pass. That's the. Okay, good choice coming all the way back down. Speed's kind of crucial coming down table, especially if the 3's tight. Jayson kind of took a long look at it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's tight, you definitely don't want to be shooting it from off the rail or any kind of big cut or any distance. Oh,
Right.
watch out here. That's got a spread. And it does so. So threading the needle there, Jayson Shaw.
Gorgeous shot.
And he should just play the 4 on the side here, I think, with not much room as far as the pocket. Oh, he could come backwards.
He underhit it, though, quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be a shot maker now, and that is his forte anyway.
Just got to watch about getting over the 7 and 9. I
Yeah.
don't think he can get it to there where he's looking on this table. I think he's going to come one rail much closer to the 7 and 9, it appears to me.
Yeah, he's aware of that. He's just showing where he wanted it to be, I think.
Oh, you mean for the 4
Just
ball?
like a little
Okay.
gentle reminder
Yeah.
if I didn't do that very good, because you called it from a mile away, and it's not like he doesn't know where it goes either.
Yeah.
He's a little bit too good of a player for that.
But he's gotten enough bridge, so still big favorite to make this.
So the effortless stroke, I mean, it just glides back, just so smooth, comes right on through the ball. It contributes to his accuracy. And like you said earlier, it's the timing thing. He's got that special timing that you just don't find. It's very uncommon.
And he should probably go 4 rails here, maybe 3 rails up into the 9 area. I don't think you want to come backwards here. He may. I think forward is a little easier, even though it's more cue ball movement. Okay, watch out, bumping the 7. So just
He can bump it a lot of ways. It doesn't have to work
to
out.
himself. He's like, it's not that I didn't know it might bump the 7.
Right.
I'm just saying it doesn't have to bump it exactly like that.
It
Or
has
the
one
cross-
way to bump like this, and a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
The cross-side bank is funny. The safety's a little funny. I'd probably 2-rail this and just drag the cue ball to the end rail about the first diamond.
I feel like the 7 ball's entering the side pocket with a blur here.
Really?
I do feel that way.
Man. Yeah, when you try to bank them hard like that when they're close, it's easier to stiff it mildly from that angle than it is hard because you need it to grab. And when you hit it hard from that angle, it just doesn't have much time to grab.
Yeah, I just watching him play over the years, I just felt like that's just go time. And
Yeah. I didn't
For
mind him
him.
shooting at it for sure. But you could tell it wasn't natural bank.
Nice shot.
okay.
Nice shot.
So
Nothing ever gets easy when you're struggling behind. yeah.
Well, what's looked like kind of a one-sided match is just one 9-ball away from 7-4, and you play a lot of matches and play 11 games, and it's going to be somewhere around 7-4 for somebody.
Yeah.
It's not like it's easy to trade games.
And with great players, that's not much of a lead, by the
No,
way. That's
no.
1 or 2 innings is all. Kind of like in the movie Rounders, hanging around, right? If Wong could just mount a little bit of offense, maybe a break and run out or 2, or a break, make a ball, and get a killer safe in there. Okay, here we go. This goes to that guy I was talking about. A little offense.
Complying
Couple
break.
balls. One ball's over the pocket. This is good.
Yeah, he can get by the 3 too. It's tight, but he can get by there, I believe.
Yep. Well, this is what he needed. Win that last game and with a good shot, and then maybe get a starter shot here. Do some damage.
Almost got a little too thin there, but I think he can handle it. I think he's close enough to it. He can float it in or kill it with a little draw stroke, depending.
Yeah.
Oh, he played it firm, so.
And smooth, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cue ball back in the open. Yeah, you can see he's a very smooth cueing action of an experienced player. Good speed control.
Yeah, in a good position to take our 12th rack here.
Quality break and run out there.
Mm-hmm.
Hoang wins his 5th game. Only 2 back now. You know, if everyone would share and do the viewing party thing, if we all did it, it would not be long to reclaim our sport and have it filled with people that are exuberant about it. Most people don't even know what world class looks like because they've never had the opportunity where you and I live it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's a super important thing that we do. We grow and kind of have a pool appreciation week periodically. And this will also ramp up the intensity for the Moscone Cup if people are already kind of like, hey, I didn't know. Great opportunity here.
Yeah. That atmosphere at the Moscone Cup is nothing quite like it. I've been to a lot of sporting events.
Well,
Okay, so he's made 2, and he's got a nice shot on the 1 again. A little bit more difficult position than the last from the 1 to the 2, but
he also finally has a little momentum his way, too.
yeah, just right away from, just a...
Here's our Predator replay of the break. Corner ball, the wing ball went in. 7 ball found the side pocket. Nothing easy about this, but at least he's at the table and got some rhythm. And he can go ahead and try to go 2 cushions right at the 9.
Yeah, exactly. I like that a lot. And you can play it with a comfortable speed, too. You don't have to just kind of like whack it or nothing. Perfect.
Wow. Beautiful. Yeah, it was.
Really good control as well. Not just kind of hitting and hoping.
Finally getting to see the player we thought we were getting.
Just got to keep control of the 3 here. Okay. That should do.
Use the heavy side of the pocket to take some pace out of the cue ball and allow him to keep it close to the 3. Decision here, forward or backward. Nice, yeah. Good angle.
Yeah, and when you game plan or you hear about other sports that game plan well, you always hear this. You want to be in there come the fourth quarter with a striking, somewhere within room to strike, and still matches away. And that's kind of what Hoang's kind of done here, really.
You had to do a little something this rack, and if he goes ahead and gets out, Jayson Shaw will know he's in the match for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of guys would say that you never really totally feel comfortable that you've got the break figured out with this format. It's just that type of break. Anytime you're cutting the ball, on the break, it's a little uncomfortable feeling overall.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to hit it with a little speed. But he's kind of shored up the break since the beginning of the match now, and he's kind of gotten the arm loose.
Well, the second consecutive break and run out to win his 6th game. He's even going to rack the balls here. What a gentleman.
Helping Kenny out.
Yeah. Good time for 2 break and run outs. 7-6 is our score. Brings us TPA right up to pro level there at 849. The rack track there. Each player's had a 3 consecutive game flurry in the middle of this match. Talking to a fan here right before this match in the stands named Phil, comes from Central Ohio. Said he's been coming for 20 years. He was a cool guy.
14.
All right, here we go. Break's been going a little bit better here for Hoang.
Yeah, and he's put him, he's not making the one either, really. He's putting the one around a couple of rails, getting a shot at it. Like that. Oh, lost the cue ball and really wasn't going to get his turn at the table as far as making the balls or complying with the rules. So,
yeah, catch a predator replay, the cue ball. This is the problem with the cut break, is that cue ball gets loose, wants to go to the side pockets.
Yeah, if you put a little bit of, most of the guys are trying to put straight draw on that, going back into like the 9-ball area.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that one had some side spin on it. So,
right.
Kind of track the cue ball more towards that side pocket.
Gonna get too straight here, Jeremy. Got a little hint of an angle, maybe.
He's got a little bit of an angle. And Jayson is not afraid to draw the ball back and to the top rail and then back towards the 3 at all. Again, doing it with an open bridge as well, but gets a lot of power on the cue ball easily. Now the 4 doesn't appear to go in the side pocket by the 5, so he may have to I may go into the 7 here, just roll into the edge of the 7. I hate to pull my cue ball over unless I can get all the way over in between the 7-9 for the 4 all the way up to the upper left.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to kind of hold my ball for the 4 for the upper right and get myself elevated over the 7. So that's why I might bump it a little bit. Okay, he could come all the way over, and that's the other shot.
That plays more comfortably, even though you're a little further away.
Yeah, it's a bigger pocket, too, than shooting it in the other opposite corner all the way up. You can use the rail just a touch here.
And that little delicate shot that he just played might also be part of that extra power he has in the stroke from good timing, because he got it floated over there pretty effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Nice shot there. Perfect speed, rattled it home a little bit.
James Aranis up 8-2 over Chang.
Our defending champion. Guy is a total monster, Chang Junlin.
Could use a little bit more there. Just broke that little plane of getting to where it's very playable. Another 3 inches back, 2 inches back, though. That shot becomes a little funny. No need to drop below the 9. He may, though. Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, you always have a shot at the 7 all the way through wherever the cue ball goes there. Even if it's stuck to the rail, you'd have a shot. Couple good decisions in this rack led to a very comfortable run out.
But really, I mean, anybody's ball game from here at 8-6.
Well, Jason's glad to capture that game. It's always fun to see all the different fans I see every year here. Have known them.
Oh, yeah, pretty committed.
Yep. Pretty knowledgeable fans. Here's our Q-Tech break performance stats. Hoang's had 6 breaks with 2 successful. Shaw's had 8 breaks, 7 successful. But yet, break and run out wise, Hoang's got 2 and Shaw only 1.
15th rack, Jayson breaking, 8-6.
Yeah, that's why you just see the slimmest of leads, even though we know how important the break is in our sport these days.
Non-compliant break, I believe.
Yeah.
Choice.
Nice starter here, just going back and forth. Really good speed to get the angle, but not go so far all the way over to the other rail.
Yeah.
You get on the rail and a little flat on the angle, and things become a little more difficult, a lot more difficult, actually. So those little things to stay aware of, very important. Maybe in between the 5-8 here. Couple rails. Chris Robinson 10-4 over Chris Mellon. Love that kind of stroke there where you get draw on the ball, but you're in so much control of it when it comes back slowly like that.
Yeah. Beautiful to watch. Looks like the ball was meant to go there rather than you had to make it go there. This is a much different player in the second third of the match than it was in the first third of the match. This guy is for sure for real.
And if he can, again, have a successful break, pretty good percentage on running out so far with it. 2 for 2.
Yeah, 8-7.
But only 2 out of 6 on legal breaks, like a non-compliant break. Corey Dewey ahead 5-3 over Dennis Arcuyo. That's a winner side match as well. John Moore on the hill, I believe, up 10-4 over Petrie. That's impressive.
But if I just beat another great player at my weekend, it's like Ronnie O'Sullivan stuff.
James Aranis now up 9-2. I don't see how you could consider James a little. He's maybe a hair of a dark horse to win the tournament compared to a few other guys. Good 5 or 6 of them maybe. But right there, but he might be my guy to win the tournament. Just the way he's breaking. Talked about it while I watched him play earlier this week, warming up. That seems like he's matured. Just looking at him, seems like he's matured. So, and a guy that really, I love his stroke, love his game, the way he plays. Real natural player.
Yeah, a lot of growth over the last 2 years. He really kind of burst onto the scene about 2 years ago. Was a feared money player, but not quite as polished as it was for tournament play. But now he's starting to get all facets of the game.
Yeah, and just the way his fundamental is and the way he thinks about patterns and stuff, I think it's going to hold up under pressure. It's the type of play I like seeing. I like thinking they have the chance to win the big titles. Funny little shot here. Do you just float one rail behind in between the 4-8, right behind that cluster, the 5, 9, 4, and 7? I think so. Just use your talent, kissing the 1 a little bit. Now, that's a lot of speed there. He really wanted to get the 1 to the back rail, but I would have been worried if he goes by those balls, he has a good chance to scratch at that speed with the cue ball. So here should be probably something like the 1 on the side rail, kind of making the combination tough on the 1-6 and trying to run the cue ball back behind those balls. I think the combination makes you feel a little secure, right? Just in case you don't snooker him, you leave him a long, tough combination.
Right. I don't know if we can get the overhead real quick, but Jeremy, go ahead and diagram it if you want. So he's saying down here, bring the 1 over here and let the cue ball come.
2 rails, yeah, exactly. And a floating speed with the cue ball, too. Again, you don't want to somehow go by the 4 and scratch or off the 2 and scratch, something like that.
To get that 1 over there, you have to hit it pretty darn thin, though, and it would, you could even scratch off the 2. So
yeah, well, that's why I might spin it. Put some spin on it and come more towards maybe the 4 ball with the cue ball. Maybe, I don't know. It's a touchy shot, but I think that's the right. Like there, see the heavy spin he put on.
Yeah.
He went in between the 9 and the 7. Perfect play there.
Boy. Good call, too, by my co-host here.
Yeah, that spin really allows you to hit it thicker, which kind of helps you direct the path of the cue ball you want. Pretty nice. A good
Predator replay of that shot. Gets right between the 7 and 9. That really helped matters out a lot.
And that was very intentional going between the 7 and 9. Don't think he wasn't trying that. He had a better look at it than we did, meaning a better thought in mind. Okay, he's gonna leave Jason a long, tough one.
Yep.
I think he'll level out, try and make it, and just kind of go to the rail and bump the 2 or something like that.
Long, tough one for everyone else. This is just a medium tough one for Jayson Shaw.
He might even catch a piece of the 2. And I don't like really necessarily elevating on this one, even though he may. And he might try to center punch into the 2. Feeling like if he misses the 1 may escape somewhere and not sell out to where if he just rolls it, kind of medium rolls it. I like him like that. Just medium speed, a little lighter than medium. Yeah, just do what you do best, basically. Oh, my.
Well, he hit it good. It's very difficult to have the balls end up like this. You don't know exactly where they're going to go, but this is one of the more unlikely scenarios. You said it earlier, just use your talent. That's what he did. That's his forte. Straight shooting, shot making, that's what Jayson Shaw is all about.
Got to watch out here with putting the side spin.
Well, I think he's kicking it up by the 9-7, that same shot that he played earlier. I understand what you're saying, that it's not for certain because
Well, no, I was just saying maybe foul on the 4 because sometimes you can go off the side of the ball when you're putting. Yeah, see, he fouled the 4 right there with his cue. And you have to really pay attention, especially with the bridge. You don't have quite as much grip on the cue like a bridge does. Yeah. And so anytime you're putting that side spin to help the shot, watch the cue stick slide off the left side of the cue ball.
Here's
right
the
into the
Predator
4.
replay.
See that?
Yeah.
And fouled the ball. I'm not saying he forgot it, but it's something you really have to pay attention to in that situation particularly.
Yeah, it was once again a great call. And what you said may happen did happen.
He could have used a little more there, but he got off the rail with the cue ball, so that's mostly important. But he knows that he would have liked to have been another foot off the rail or so. You want control coming over here with the 9 being there. Okay, nice effort.
May need the bridge here.
Again, got to be very careful, even though he won't be putting right English on this, so he'll be putting more center or even a touch of left. So as far as fouling the ball, shouldn't be much concern. Key here is don't let up on it. Don't let the tip come up. That's why I would have been concerned about the tip coming up, because if you draw the ball there, you can never get behind the 8, really.
Mm-hmm. He's landed in a good spot here. Tie this match up at 8 games apiece.
That's one thing that when you develop that lighter, smoother stroke, you really trust the rollout of the ball, Mark. That's one thing you really have to kind of ingrain. That ball is going to roll out nice for you just because the type of tempo you have on the swing. So it almost feels like every shot is not going to get there, but it just rolls into nice position. So
yeah, great control and a little more drama here. 8-8 is our score. Both players playing upper 800 pool.
James Aranis 10-2 over Chang, and Chang just doesn't really make mistakes, so that just tells you
Exactly.
Or he doesn't make many of them. He is human, but doesn't make many mistakes. No matter what kind you're talking about, mental errors, physical errors, just doesn't matter. Doesn't get emotional. So that just tells you how well Aranis is playing, and the break is the thing that I really saw also. When I saw him warming up the other night, it was probably him and Federer were the most 2 consistent breaks that I've seen.
Duong Quoc Hoang preparing to break here.
Okay, nothing down. You kind of hear it when it right away.
The 6 and the 8 and the 2 all snuggled up there. It was a legitimate break. It just nothing scored.
Yeah, and this is kind of partly how the match has gone. Is Jason's had some shots, but then not much future as far as a run out. He's made some great shots, like the one off the end rail last game where he got snookered and ended up fouling with the bridge. Barely clipped the 4 ball and then snookered him. So just little things, but again, the sign of one of the best players on the planet is winning all kinds of ways.
Well, and I oftentimes talk about winning with your B game.
Yeah.
I know you can win with your A game. How do you do when you don't have your best stuff?
I think he's got to come to the 2 rails to the center of the table. That's what I would do. He's looking at banking the 1 long rail and drawing behind this ball. Is that what he's looking at? I would come to the center of the table, and that way I could chip the 2 and go to the rail. And yeah, that's what he was looking at. And breaking this out, maybe, or what a shot. Okay.
Wow. Let's get a little Predator replay on that one. Well, that's not the shot. That was a safety from last time.
And that was a fine shot, but not quite the bank that we just saw, though.
Who does that?
We'll get that one in here in a minute.
Yeah. What a shot.
Yeah, well, if you've seen the Jayson Shaw highlight reel, I think just right from this very room here, he's made a lot of great ones on this table.
Jayson felt that the gamble was prudent. I mean, it's a tough bank, and then you got to make the perfect breakout with it. He did score it. Here's our Predator replay of that bank, straight back, and then with the right amount of draw. I mean, come on. A lot of things got to go just right for that to work out.
Yeah, and another bank coming up here, I believe. Don't think he's cutting it. Yeah, he's banking at this. And oh, okay. At first, I thought it was a little short, but
I did too. But he bet the game on that shot.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, what about the bank on the one he was betting the game on?
What
Quite
a
a bit
courageous
easier,
shot.
quite a bit tougher than the one on this 3-ball cross side. So, true
Well,
gunfighter, that's for sure.
the other thing is on the one, there is some hope that you leave it tough. On that one, it's not very often you're going to leave it tough if you miss that bank.
Yeah. I was just saying the one ball because he could have shot the one straight in and played for a safety and everything. So,
Right.
so pretty nervy, if you ask me, to go ahead and fire that bank and draw it in there. Okay, that's going to be below the 5, and
He's going to be
not what he
disappointed
wanted, yeah.
after making so many great shots.
Well, I wouldn't doubt if he cuts this one all the way down the corner.
No, exactly.
I swear I wouldn't. Chris Robinson has gone on. Decisive win for him. Played very well from what I saw over Chris Melling, 11-5. Not so easy to get behind the 6-8 unless you draw your ball, unless you play the 5-ball bank twice long maybe and draw your ball behind the 6 and 8. Oh, wow, he's just said heck with it.
Man. Is that the third bank shot in this rack that we've witnessed? And none of them were automatic at all. Look at he's smiling.
Yeah,
He
well,
knows.
he stretched here and he got a little angle, so this is a little funny.
Yep.
'Cause he doesn't want to fall on the end rail, and he can't afford to just, like, draw with a lot of speed and get behind the 9. So touchy little shot. Well done. Oh, what an out at 8-8, Mark.
Oh, no kidding. I would say that if he goes on to win this match, that will be the pivotal point in this entire match with rack 17. Well, that's what we watch for. That is world-class pool right there.
Anybody could have run out conventionally. You know. What's the fun in that? Yeah. I think we're going to just give him a 10-second clock from now on. Yeah.
Hey, Jayson would really like to get out here and back it up with a couple of racks.
Yeah. He's smiling up here looking at us. He does have a cheerful disposition even when he's in there combat.
Yeah, if he goes on to win this, I'll ask him about that one railer on the one. He'll probably, I can imagine him saying, well, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
expect me just to shoot the one in and lay up on the 2-ball? You know, just play safe on the 2?
No. I always laugh. I mean, when I watch you play, it looks like a guy sitting in a lawn chair. When he plays, it looks like somebody with their hair on fire. You know, it's like balls are hopping, drawing.
Not going to get a shot again. Well, if he rolls out to a bank, I'm guessing Hoang's going to take it instead of letting him shoot it. Yeah, and I think Hoang will probably take this no matter what. I think I play the 1 up behind the 4, right? And let the cue ball hit 2 rails and use the 6. I don't think you're going to use the 2. I think with a high right ball, put the 1 underneath the 4. And
if you put the 1 there, I don't think you can do much with the cue ball. I think you just have to float it.
Yeah, just let it like come 2 rails like and use the 6 as a big ball right there.
And just, try to preserve the 1 not having enough pace to get up by the side pocket.
Right.
No matter what, even if you can see the 1.
Yeah, it's not the kind of shot where you get to kill the cue ball to the rail and near a ball,
Right.
It's not the most comfortable shot in the world, but it's really not at this level, you're not supposed to pass it, I don't think.
You might not hook them, but just don't sell out.
Yeah, it's like there, the 6 is a big, big ball.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah. And he really cut him off here with the 2 ball. If he can't see a piece of this ball, he's got troubles. But it's not the kind of shot you really have so much comfort with, but at this level, it's not the type you can really pass back. You have to look to execute that before your opponent tries to execute on you.
Right. Jayson is looking, do you know how thin you'd have to hit it to go between
the 5-9
and use the 8? It'd be thin enough that the 4 is going to cover the 1 anyway. That's how thin it's going to have to be if that's what he's trying to do.
The key is don't baby it. It'll cut better if you don't baby it.
Yeah, he hit it heavy.
Yeah.
And sold out.
And he could get a bunch of that ball just the way it acted. So, but I think that was about all he had. But he was also trying to make it to where if he let him see it, the 1 and the 4 were kind of tangled up a little bit. So all in all, just the thick hit kind of ruined all those plans.
Yep. That's what I was saying. The thinness that he almost had that would put the 1 behind the 4.
I tell you, Hoang, whenever lets that nice long stroke go, hits the ball real clean. Easy cue ball movement. Now don't end up short here. No reason to be short. Okay, that should be good.
But you have to make up your mind here which side of the side pocket you want to go on.
Yeah, I'd like to have been a little more full here, but hey, just go ahead and touch that second rail, I think.
Yep.
Perfect.
Confident stroke there. Didn't try to do too much. Didn't overhit it.
And one thing about it, Jayson, I think he made the correct rollout. Just Hoang really hit the safety nice. Even though he let him see a piece of it, Jayson still wasn't in a great position. So, I mean, that's what it takes. You got to let your opponent make a great shot on you from there. Oh, he missed it. Wow. Caught it a little thick to the hole.
And you see it took the pace out of the cue ball. He wasn't trying for it here. Here's our Predator replay of this.
Yeah, just a little thick. As the table gets a little more use and worn in, I don't, that might have stood up on day 1. I don't know, but it wasn't hit terribly. It was hit bad considering it was an easy shot.
But I don't think you should miss to that side of the pocket on this shot because he's trying to get the cue ball all the way across. You know what I mean? So he missed by quite a bit to miss it on that side of the pocket. If he would have overcut it, then you'd say, well, he was trying to get the cue ball over there. But that was a big one there. All right, 10-8's our score instead of 9-9. What a turn of events there. Good. Jayson feels very, very fortunate. you ever seen anyone that shoots straighter than Jayson Shaw, with the exception of Filler? Or maybe Filler's close.
Well, I mean, you know, I wasn't around for Earl's heyday, but I sure saw a lot of it. I think it's at moments.
Well, day in, day out in my
Yeah.
lifetime, I've never seen anything
No.
like it. No. And I was around for Earl's heyday. I know him since he was 18.
Yeah.
And Earl would be right up there, top, but
There's certain
This is
guys
my
that I
number
saw
one.
were real pure shooters that I wasn't around a ton, but, you know, a couple years. Marlon Manalo, I thought, was one of the straighter shooters I'd ever seen. Actually, at Cononopolis, when he was really in his prime, and he's not out of it. He just hadn't played much in the last few years. A real solid ball pocketer. But, yeah, Jason's pretty effortless with the straight shooting.
here we go. His final break of the match.
And caught a little heavy, so that makes me think he's definitely trying to play the one around. And this is nice. He can go forward with the cue ball right by the 5 for a couple rails for the 2 in the side, I believe. He could take a little chance coming back because the scratch is kind of covered up. I don't think he can scratch off the 1, you know, by the 3. You'd like to just drop like 1, 2, 3 rails right by this lower right-hand corner on your screen from the overhead right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit it with a nice high ball. Take a little bit of a cut on the 2 in the side, but not too tough. I'll tell you what else he could do. He's got a lot of options. He can just run right into the 5, and good chance he's going to come away with a shot. Oh, he went the uber aggressive 3 rails for the corner.
What a nice hit that was.
Yeah, it
Golly.
was.
Now look at stop shot. Just roll forward on the 3. Just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
you know, and the 4 goes by the 9 just in case he wants to go forward off the 3.
Yeah, I think that's what he was playing for.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That first shot really opened everything up here. He should not have to struggle to get out here if he just executes.
Yeah, Eagle Eye, who I think is a little light there. And that happens a lot when you're trying to hold that angle. You actually underhit it a lot. Learned that through the years. You know, one thing about Jayson is, and he didn't play bad this match by any means, but he had a couple little things get away from him that I think will probably be eliminated from here on out.
Yeah. This was not a terrific performance by him. It was a great performance, just not his absolute top speed, as we're familiar watching here on center court.
And that's what happens when you break and you have to jump the ball a couple times. You don't come away with a decent shot to get started. That you can have a few mistakes. But what a couple recoveries in a few of those racks with the bank shots. The one in this rack right here to open the final game.
3 cushion position.
And so Mr. Hoang will wonder what would have happened if he had made that 8.
Right. Well, routine match ball there for Jayson Shaw. And really the turning point was rack 17 when he had 3 bank shots and made that great breakout. If you're ever going to watch a rack, that was a heck of a rack to watch. All right. This has been an ACCUSTATS video production. On behalf of Jeremy Jones and all of us here, thank you for joining us. And now let's go to the floor with Ra Hanna and our man, Jayson Shaw.
This is Ra Hanna live from the Simonis Aramis Arena with the hottest player on the planet, Eagle Eye, Jayson Shaw. Jayson, walk us through that last rack.
Full match, I didn't feel comfortable the full match. I don't know why. I just kind of feel. I think I haven't eaten anything this morning, so
Well,
I think that's maybe something to do.
I'm going to say something. You look more fit. You look more focused. What have you been doing? You changed your diet. You changed your exercise, your practice regimen.
Yeah, I'm practicing again. I haven't been practicing for about, I can't tell you how long, maybe 6 months. Just been going tournament to tournament.
Well, you do have a new little baby there.
Yeah, obviously having a second baby's just, I think that's what did it to me. I just kind of lost love for the game a little bit. But I'm back. I got a new cue, playing good, so see where it goes.
Well, you know what happened when Jayson Shaw is ready, Eagle Eye is ready, the world has to watch out. We're going to see you back here. I'm going to just write your name on the table.
Okay.
Jayson Shaw, Eagle Eye, ACCUSTATS, don't go nowhere.